Randa told me myth can be more than just stories handed down through the generations or words on a page. Myth can be a compass. Ancient tribes of Oceania all had their own story, but the name is woven throughout history of a place existing far beyond the natural laws of our world. Skull Island.
Driven by his experiences upon the SS Lawton, Supervisor William Randa searched for a mythic island, an obsession that lasted close to 30 years. A multitude of terror searches were commissioned, but none were successful until the advent of Landsat. Through their imaging satellite, the island, number 1100-2039-543, was located on April 7, 1973. A joint mission between Monarch and Landsat was launched. We engaged the services of the military helicopter squadron for passage and extraction from the island. This mission suffered massive casualties, including the loss of Randa. However, Monarch operatives Brooks and Sand survived, returning with their eyewitness accounts and Randa's original field notes. In many ways, the expedition was a success. We discovered a whole new ecosystem, an island of Mutos, none more significant than those hereafter noted as Kong and the Skull Crawlers. During the 1973 mission, Monarch operatives Brooks and Sand discovered native islanders called the Iwi. The following intel comes from their interactions with the tribe, as well as Lieutenant Hank Marlowe, who lived with the Iwi until his escape from the island. Marlowe's recollections of the Iwi reveal a complex system of communication that also serves as a mode of camouflage from the beasts that inhabit the island. Symbols are written upon their flesh and woven into their clothing. There is very little spoken language, but many subtle gestures that speak volumes. Wrecks of several ships and airplanes lay scattered near their encampment. Some of the vessels appear to be quite ancient, dating back millennia. It has been proposed that the Iwi are not indigenous to the area, but are travelers themselves who were stranded on the island at various points in time. The Iwi scavenge parts to build structures, but mainly appear to use the ships as shrines to the god they call Kong, the alpha superspecies of the island.
The superspecies is far beyond the size limitations of any primate seen on Earth. This is no ape. This is something else. To the indigenous population of Skull Island, Kong is more than just an animal. Kong is a god. And frankly, who are we to argue? Now, I've never been much a believer in God, but I believe in Kong. aggression, that they drove evolution down a completely different path. These beasts, like a fusion of plant and animal, not flora yet not fauna. It's something new. It's flora fauna. On Skull Island, myth truly runs wild. I, Houston Brooks, geological advisor to Monarch, hereby state on record that the myth is real. We found it. Skull Island exists, and it's more wondrous and more terrifying than any myth could ever hope to communicate.
The discovery of the island reveals an ecosystem teeming with a multitude of mutos, something our scientists had never anticipated. According to Randa's notes, the discovery of the island reveals a self-contained biome in which the path of evolution has skewed into a dramatic new tangent, manifesting life forms that are unlike anything on our planet. There is gigantism beyond any megafauna previously identified. The mammalian life has grown to a scale beyond anything typically found within phenotype. Those who experienced this new world firsthand had similar reactions. Randa reported,
"This planet doesn't belong to us. Ancient species owned this Earth long before mankind."
Part of Monarch's mission is to locate, study, and preserve the unexplained orders of nature hidden in remote corners of the world. As such, Skull Island creates a unique challenge for our organization. There are two alpha species of Muto on the island. These are in direct opposition to one another. The apex primate Kong and the hypervore species referred to as skull crawlers.
In so many ways, the island is like something from a dream, but these things, they walk out of a nightmare. If Kong is the god of the mountain, then this beast is the devil incarnate.
Operative Brooks's hollow earth theories were tested when the team arrived on the island. The seismic charges released revealed the bedrock to be practically hollow. Unfortunately, this experimentation flushed the skull crawlers out of their subterranean spaces and into direct conflict with the team.
They call it the skull crawler. Its hypermetabolism is so accelerated that the creature exists in a constant state of starvation, always hunting, always devouring, and that cold, lifeless skull just stares into your soul. The boneyard is massive, filled with the skeletal remains of every apex predator that got in the skull crawler's way. This isn't just a graveyard, it's a feeding ground. We walk through the bones of Kong's ancestors like walking in the shadow of fallen gods. These things may have made Kong the last of his kind.